Hello and welcome. My name's Emily, and today I have for you a yoga sequence for the splits or Hanumanasana. So maybe you're working your way up to your splits, or perhaps you're just working on your mobility and strengthening in the hip flexors. This is a good little sequence for you today to help build some strength in those hips. So to get started, we'll warm up with some rounds of sun salutations just to prepare our bodies for our stretching and our drills. So coming to stand at the top of our mat with our toes together, we can stand nice and tall through the body in our mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, diving into your forward fold. We can very generously bend the knees here. Inhale, lengthen to your half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms and step it back to a plank. And we can either bring the knees, chest and chin down to the mat or chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. And just taking a moment here to paddle out the feet, stretch out the legs. One more breath. Inhale, looking between the hands. We can walk, step, or jump the feet between, coming back to our half lift. Nice flat back, either fingertips to the mat, shins or thighs here. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, reaching the arms back out and up. Exhale, hands come down in prayer. Taking a breath, inhale. Exhale, release the hands. We'll move through another round. Inhale, reaching the arms out and up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back to your plank in knees, chest and chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. And again, paddling the feet, stretching out the legs. One more breath. Inhale, look between the hands, walk, step, or jump the feet between. Coming back to our half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching the arms back out and up. Exhale, hands come down in prayer. One more time. Deep breath in. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step it back to your plank and knees, chest and chin or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. And paddling the feet again here. Connecting with our Ujjayi breath today, our ocean breath or victorious breath, where we restrict the muscles in the throat. And it's almost like we're using our breath to fog up a window or a mirror, but with the mouth closed, restricting the muscles in the back of your throat. You'll create this nice ocean sound with the breath. One more breath. Inhale, looking towards the hands, walk, step, or jump the feet between, coming back to your half lift. Exhale, bend the knees and fold forwards. Inhale, reaching the arms back out and up. Exhale, hands come down in prayer. Beautiful. So hopefully we're feeling a bit warmer in the body now. The legs especially are feeling a bit more open. And we'll come into our little drill exercises. So we'll start with some leg lifts to build some strength in the quads and the hip flexors. So shifting our weight into our left leg, we can bring the hands to rest on the hips and just hover that right foot above the mat. As we inhale, lift that right leg up as high as you can. Exhale, gently lowering down, moving with the breath and with control. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lifting and holding here for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. We can lower that right foot down. Shifting our weight into the right side, hover the left foot. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale, last one, and we'll hold. Inhale, holding for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Whew. Gently lower that left foot down. Shifting back into the left foot. Point the right toes onto the ground. And again, we'll point our leg lifts. So we can inhale, lift up the leg, point those toes, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, engaging that quad. Exhale. One more and we'll hold. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Whew. Bringing that foot down, coming back into your right leg, pointing the left toes, and we'll do our leg lifts. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhaling and holding for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Whew. Maybe shake out those legs. And we can then grab hold of a block here. If we don't have a block, we can always use a sturdy book or something similar. And we're just going to place it in the center of our mat. And we'll bring the right foot just to rest on top of the block. The balls of the feet come to rest and we're flexing those toes up. Step back your left foot about 3 to 4 paces so we have a short stance and we can square the hips to the top of the mat. Holding onto the forearms behind the back, stand nice and tall. Exhaling, hinging from the hips, we'll fold forwards. Inhale, lengthen all the way back up to standing. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, folding. Keep flexing those toes up. Inhale, lift. 1 more time. Exhaling, folding. And holding here for a few breaths. Keep squaring the hips to the top of the mat. So we're pulling the left hip forwards and the right hip pulls back. Using your Ujjayi breath. 1 more breath and we'll pulse it out. And we can pulse for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, coming back up to standing. Release the arms and legs, maybe just shake them out. We can bring the left foot to rest on top of the block. Stepping back your right foot 3 paces or 4. Woo. Minding your balance, flexing the toes up, squaring the hips, and holding onto the forearms. Inhale. Exhale, folding forwards. Coming into your pyramid. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Moving with control. Inhale, lengthen. 1 more time. Exhaling, folding, and holding here for a few breaths. We can tuck the chin in here so the back of the neck is long. And keep flexing those toes up. This time we're pulling the right hip forwards and the left hip back to keep squaring the hips. 1 more breath and we'll pulse it out. And pulsing for 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Woo. Come back up to standing. Release those arms. We can pop our blocks aside. Maybe shake out the legs again. And we'll come into a high lunge. So with the right foot at the top, we can step the left leg back. 1 leg distance. So we've got quite a nice wide stance. And we're pressing the balls of the feet into the mat. So we're lifting that heel up high. And we're shining the back of the knee up to the ceiling. So this whole leg is active. Resting your right hand on top of the thigh. Inhale, lengthen the left arm up. Take a breath. And then as you inhale, lengthen or reach that left hand over to the right side. So we feel a nice, beautiful stretching up psoas muscle in this left hip. Exhale, come back to your center. 2 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, center. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to your center. We can grab hold of our blocks again here. If we don't have blocks, again, we can use some sturdy books. And just placing these blocks underneath the shoulder so we can rest the hands on top. And we'll dip the knee. So as we exhale, lower that left knee down towards the mat. We're not touching the mat, we're just hovering that knee above. Inhale, lengthen the leg back up. Exhale, lower, hovering. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. One more. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. We can then switch the feet. So we'll step back the left foot, step back the right foot, step the left foot forwards. And we'll dip the knee out on the right side. So standing nice and strong in the legs. Exhale, lower. Hover the knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, one more time. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And then we can exhale, just gently step it back to the top of the mat. We can pop our blocks to the side for a moment. And we'll just bring ourselves down to our mat so we can inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, dive into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back to your plank and knees, chest and chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Paddling out the feet. One more breath. On your next inhale, lift up the left foot and step it between the hands and gently drop the back knee down, untuck those toes. And come up to rest in our low lunge. We can rest the hands on top of the left thigh. And we're nice and active in this asana. So we're lifting up through the pelvis here. So we're engaging the perineum. Just to be active in the hips here. So we're almost like we're pulling this left thigh bone back into the hip. And we're squaring this right hip forward so that we're not flopping and passive in this stretch. Lifting up through the perineum, our Muladhara Bandha. Nice deep breaths. And then exhale, gently bring your hands down to the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the front leg, coming into a half split. We can grab hold of our blocks again here if we're rounding in the spine. We want to keep the spine nice and long so that we don't lose that stretch in the hamstring. Flexing the toes up. And Ujjayi breath. One more breath here, and then we'll flow with our breath. So as we exhale, sink back into your low lunge. Inhale, lengthen back to your half split. 2 more times, flowing with the breath. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, lift. Lengthen. Exhale, lunge. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Maybe folding over the leg a little if we can. And then exhale, we can sink back into our lunge. We can pop the blocks to one side and bring both the hands to the inside of your left foot. So we come into our lizard. Again, we're lifting up through the perineum, engaging our Muladhara Bandha. And just taking a few breaths here just to open up the hips into our lizard. And we'll move through some dynamic little stretches to this. So coming into our left foot, as we inhale, press the toes into the mat and lift the heel up as high as you can. Exhale, gently lower the heel down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhaling, lower. One more. Inhale. Exhale, gently lower that heel down. Tuck the back toes under and lift the knee. Lengthen that leg, and we'll dip the knee out. Exhale, lower the knee, hover above the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Inhale, one more time. Exhale, hovering. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, we can gently drop that back knee down, untuck the toes. And then we can frame the left foot with both the palms. Tuck the back toes under and lift the knee. Step it back to your downward facing dog. And take a moment to just paddle the feet here. Release all that hard work from the legs. On your inhale, shifting your weight into a plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. And just paddling the feet for a moment. On your next inhale, lift up the right foot, stepping it between the hands. We can gently drop the back heel down and untuck the toes. Come back up to rest in our low lunge, but on the right side this time. And again, we're active in this asana, so lifting up through the perineum, through our Muladhara Bandha, so that we're active in this asana. We're pulling the right thigh bone back into the hip socket. And nice deep breaths. Keep pulling the belly and ribs in here. The core is engaged. One more breath. And then exhaling, we can bring the hands down to the mat. Inhale, lengthen through that front leg, coming into our half splits. And again, we can grab hold of our blocks here just so that we can lengthen through the spine, deepening that stretch in the hammy. And again, we're flexing these toes up as much as we can, just actively reaching them up to the ceiling. And again, nice deep breaths, our Ujjayi breath. One more breath. And then we'll move through our little dynamic flow, so we can exhale, bend into your lunge. Inhale, lengthen to your half split. Maybe fold over the leg. Exhaling, lunge. Inhale, half split. Last one, exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhaling gently, coming back to your lunge. We can pop the blocks to one side, and we'll bring both the hands to the inside of your right foot. And just resting here for a moment in our low lunge, just opening up the hips to our lizard. Deep stretch. One more breath and we'll add in our heel lifts. So on our inhale, pressing the toes into the mat, lift that heel up as high as you can. Exhaling, gently lower. Inhale, lift. Moving with purpose and control. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. We can lower that heel. Tuck the back toes under and lift the knee. And we'll dip the knee out again, so we can exhale, hover the knee above the mat. Inhale, lengthen, reach through the back of the heel. Exhale, hover. Inhale, lengthen. One more. Exhale. Inhale. And then exhaling, gently lowering that back knee down, untuck the toes. We can frame that front foot with the hands again, planting the palms into the mat. Tuck the back toes under, and we'll step it back to our downward facing dog again. And just paddle the feet out again here, just to release the stretches from the legs. Beautiful. Oh my God, there's a little spider on my mat. No, thank you. Goodbye, friends. Thank you. Stretching out those legs. One more breath. Exhale, gently bring those knees back down to the mat, untuck the toes. And now we can have a little play with our Hanumanasana, our splits. So grabbing hold of our blocks here. We'll place them just underneath the shoulders. And we can step through the left foot to begin. So we kind of come into a short, low lunge. And from here, we can start edging out the front foot and the back knee. Just taking it little by little. Finding your current variation. of your splits. So as you can see, even my butt doesn't come down to the mat quite yet, and that's okay. This is all part of the journey. And it's really not about how we look in these asanas that we practice. It's all about how we feel. And even in these more difficult asanas that we practice, like our splits, can sometimes feel quite uncomfortable. So that's why we practice our drills, so that we can build some strength, so that we can be more comfortable here, working our way up to bringing those sit bones down to the mat. So even if we're up here today, maybe we're in our half split, that's perfectly fine. That's just how your splits currently looks for you, and that's okay. One more breath. Exhaling, we'll gently pull that left foot back in, and then we can step through that right leg and shimmying both legs back and forwards one at a time, finding your way to your splits. You can play around with the height of the blocks, whether you like them on the lowest or highest setting. You can even place a block underneath the front thigh, maybe just for some extra support. Again, just finding whatever feels good for you. I much prefer holding on to my blocks, as that helps me keeps my hips square and just saves me from falling too much, too deeply, too soon into this stretch. So just listening to your body, and deep breaths, our Ujjayi breath here. One more breath. Exhaling gently with control, we can pull that right leg back in. Beautiful. And we'll just cool down now in the hips, so we can pop our blocks to one side and just bring yourself to sit with the legs round in front. And we'll come into a full seated forward fold. So we can just simply exhale, fold forwards, reaching for the edges of the feet, ankle or shins. Or if we have a strap, we can hook the strap around the feet to hold on to instead. And just some nice deep breaths here, using your Ujjayi breath again. Nice deep breath, staying lengthened through the spine. Pull those shoulders down the back. Again, it's not about how far we can fold forwards. It's all about feeling that stretch. One more breath. Exhaling, just simply releasing. We can bend both the knees, bring the soles of the feet together, coming into our bound angle. And those heels tuck into the pelvis as close as we can, and holding onto the toes, we can sit nice and tall through the spine. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the chin in and roll down your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, folding forwards and drawing the crown of the head down towards your mat. And nice Ujjayi breaths, tuning into your inner Darth Vader. One more breath. On your next inhale, slowly rolling back up the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming to sit nice and tall. One last little stretch here for the hips. We'll bring the feet out to the sides, slightly forwards, out to the sides, almost like we're kind of chilling, but not quite. And we'll do our little 1990 knee hip dips. So we can hold on to the hands, maybe you can interlace the fingers here, and we can take both the knees over to one side. The sit bone can lift up off the mat, and then exhaling over to the other side, moving with your breath. Inhale to one side, exhale over to the other. Remember, that sit bone can come up off the mat, moving with control and purpose. One more each side. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale, come back to your center and release. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that little flow. If you did, please like the video, maybe leave me a comment below and subscribe to my channel for more free yoga content. Thanks again for joining me. I'll see you next time. Namaste.